All right, guys, the first thing that we need is some kind of shelving system. It doesn't have to be crazy. This is just a restaurant supply cart. You know, you got wheels on the bottom, it's portable, makes it kind of handy. But almost anything will work. You can use a bookshelf if you have a shelf on the top and a shelf on the bottom. You can use a countertop if you have a shelf on the top and a shelf on the bottom. It's really pretty simple. So after we've decided what we're going to set this on, the next thing we need is our dehumidifier. Set it on the top, left side, right side, doesn't matter, as long as it's up here. It has to be higher than the water container we're going to store it in on the bottom. So talking about dehumidifiers a little bit. This unit is a 70 pint per day humidifier, meaning 70 pints per day and 100% humidity is how much water volume we're going to collect. That translates to 8.7 gallons in one 24-hour period and 100% humidity. It also translates to 4.37 gallons in 50% humidity, or 2.18 gallons in 25% humidity. So I know in my area of the West here, a 600 watt, 70 pint dehumidifier will cost the following: 0.6 kilowatt per hour times 24 hours is 14.4 kilowatts that I'm going to use. So in that 14.4 kilowatts times 8 cents per kilowatt hour is $1.15 per day to run this unit. So for in a 24-hour period, this unit, this 70 pint, 600 watt dehumidifier, costs me $1.15 per day to run, because 1 kilowatt in my area costs me 8 cents. If we translate that further, our water is going to cost us 13 cents per gallon in 100% humidity, or 26 cents per gallon in 50% humidity, or 52 cents per gallon in 25% humidity. All right? So now if we talk about a 30 pint per day dehumidifier, we get the following information. That translates to 3.75 gallons in a 24-hour period and 100% humidity. If we only have 50% humidity, we're going to get 1.87 gallons. And if we only have 25% humidity, we're going to get just under 1 gallon in one 24-hour period. A 30 pint per day dehumidifier is around 400 watts, or 0.4 kilowatts per hour. But if we run a 30 pint per day dehumidifier for 24 hours, that's going to use 9.6 kilowatts. So our 9.6 kilowatts times 8 cents per kilowatt hour costs us 76 cents per day. Okay? We can translate that further to mean our 30 pint per day dehumidifier is going to cost us 20 cents per gallon in 100% humidity, 40 cents per gallon in 50% humidity, and 81 cents per gallon in 25% humidity. So with a 70 pint per day dehumidifier, you're going to pay a little bit more up front, but it's only going to cost you 13 cents per gallon, as opposed to 20 cents per gallon in 100% humidity. Now, if we look at it in more realistic terms, say like the Western United States here, where right now in my house it's 42% humidity. So let's say it's 50% humidity. Let's say it's raining outside and it's 75, but let's just use 50 as a nice number. My 70 pint per day dehumidifier is going to cost me, realistically, 26 cents per gallon to run. And out of that 26 cents per gallon, I'm going to get 4.37 gallons in that 50% humidity. So if we look at the 30 pint unit, we're going to get 1.87 gallons in a 24-hour period in 50% humidity. And it's going to cost us 40 cents per gallon in that 50% humidity. So there's a couple of things to choose from, and basically it's you go for the 70 pint per day dehumidifier or the 30 pint per day dehumidifier. Now, if you live in high humidity, in the south, where you do approach 100% humidity all the time, you're going to get a lot of water. The 70 pint unit's going to crank out just under 9 gallons of water, and the 30 pint will crank out 3.75, almost 4 gallons of water. So it's a lot of water, even in the 30 pint unit. It just depends on where in the country you are. I'm in the West, so like I said, humidity is always about 38 to 45%. Unless it's raining, of course, then it approaches 90% humidity in the house. But I've been to Texas, and it gets pretty sticky down there, so you guys could crank out some serious water, for 13 cents per gallon. So it's pretty cool when you start looking at the numbers. And I'll put this chart up on the screen so you can dissect it a little bit more. And if you didn't quite understand what I'm saying, maybe I didn't come across very well. In any case, you can dissect the numbers and check it out for yourself. As long as you know what a kilowatt costs in your area, then you can run the numbers. But here where I'm at, it's 8 cents per kilowatt hour. So with that being said, let's move on to the next step. All right, guys, next thing we need is a water collection device. This is a 3-gallon BPA-free water tank. We're just going to set it right there. Now, we could also use a 7-gallon, just like this, but it's going to be a little bit harder to lift, as you'll see later. And you can use either one. I mean, I don't hesitate using this one bit. Set it down here. Plenty of room. 7 gallons of storage. And then you can even stack these on top of each other later in storage. You can have tons of water. But yeah, whichever way you want to get started, it doesn't matter. As long as we're moving forward, making some water. So for now, we're going to use a 3-gallon BPA-free water jug. I'll just set it right there. Okay? On to the next step. All right? Next step. On this one, we're going to remove the water tray for the dehumidifier. And I'll show you why. Take out the little parts. All we have left is a tank here. We'll come back to that in a minute. So what was in that tank was a connection hose and 2 screws. All right? So this is what the hose is going to thread onto. This end we're going to connect to the dehumidifier. I'll show you how to do that. All right, so on our dehumidifier, if you can see after we've taken the tank off, we can see a little outlet port right there. Okay? That's what we're going to connect this hose to from the back side. Okay? On the back of our dehumidifier here, you can see this plug. Okay? We're just going to grab that plug and pull it out. Okay? Set it in the tray over there. We're going to grab this hose. We're going to run it through the side, through the back. Right here, you can see where it's going to attach. So with my left hand, I'm just going to help it onto that male end. And on the back, I'm kind of pushing it on. Give it a little twist. There it is. Now let's put some screws in it. And so now, for the back of this threaded unit, we're going to put 2 screws. Okay. Just going to line up the holes. Get one started. Alright, so now we're all set to thread our hose onto here, and it won't run into the tank. So now, as you can see, our clear hose is threaded onto the male end of the dehumidifier. Now we can simply place the tray back where it's supposed to go. But since we have a hose, nothing's going to fall into the tray. The hose drain will override the tray. Alright? Now let's just put the tray back in there. We're all set for the next step.